when they released Star Trek Scouts, I was like, oh my gosh, this is pretty ridiculous. And it's one of those things where it's like there's way too many brand things that Star Trek's doing right now where they're trying to not be Star Trek. They're like, can we just make this brand anything but Star Trek and just do something else? And we'll do Star Trek but The Office. We'll do Star Trek but Rick and Morty. We'll do Star Trek but lesbians in space. It seems to be everything they do these days. So I watched this one. I'm like, this is going to be pretty cringy. And of course it is, geared towards 3-year-olds and is like a Paw Patrol sort of thing. I got to say, I do have a 1.5-year-old. And when I put on Star Trek Scout, she's glued to it. So it's got a format where there's like 3 of these like toddler characters, one who's a Vulcan, 2 humans, and there's like an asteroid that's coming at their thing, and they shoot something at the asteroid. It's always like it's always something weird, like not a real, like a piñata asteroid. And so what do you shoot at it? Confetti, and that doesn't do anything. And then it's like, oh, a baseball bat, and the baseball bat hits the piñata, and they all get their candy, right? And so it's a pretty silly thing. And there's not much to it. And I looked at it at first, and I was like, this is not doing well for them. Why are they doing this? But it might be a huge success, and it might be doing very, very well for them. I'm going to show you in just a moment the stats that their episodes are coming up with. Now, Trek Movie, which I love their website, they have a lot of good Trek news, does a little bit of a like deep dive and like actually showing a little. This ties into the original series because they brought in kind of a bad kid in this last episode. His name's Finn, like Finnegan. From the Shore Leave episode where Captain Kirk was brawling with this guy who was bugging him at the academy or whatnot, and this is a kind of a callback towards that a little bit. But again, I'm not hyper-analyzing Star Trek Scouts because it is ridiculous. But let's get into what is going on in just a second. My name's John Delarose. Please hit the like and subscribe button. This is our Star Trek-only channel, and I'm trying to build this for your Star Trek news. I am an author myself, and I've got a bunch of science fiction books. I've got a new trilogy about to drop called Valiant Frontiers, and if you like 90s Star Trek, Voyager, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, you're really going to love this. It's good stuff. I want you to get on my newsletter so you don't miss things because I might never find you again. It's in the description below. You actually get 3 free books from me if you're a reader. It's a great deal for just signing up. And thank you guys for doing so. You can check out my books on Amazon. There's a lot of great places to start. And of course, I love getting messages from people. If you want to know where to read my books and the like, I'm happy to talk to you about that. So get on the newsletter first is the best spot to go. Like I said, in the description below. Appreciate you guys being here. And let's get into this news. So they actually show Star Trek Scouts on this big channel called Blaze and the Monster Machines, and it's got 6.8 million subscribers. You can see they actually changed their banner to Star Trek Scouts. It's pretty big right here. And as you get into the Star Trek Scouts playlist, you look at it. And so when it first launched, I was like, they didn't actually do that well. And actually looking at the Con audio dramas, those are not doing that well for real, and they've really not continued to do that well. People have tuned out of those as I think they've bored people with that. But these, because they're so short, I think people are actually checking it out. And you could see 1.6 million views on just the trailer alone for monetization purposes. That's pretty good. And if you don't know, you get about 25 cents, I think, per short. And so times 1.6 million, just with that, they probably made $400,000 in ad revenue just based on that one. And that's pretty crazy on that level. And so that's, I'm sorry, I had a wrong zero on that. It's 26 cents per 1,000 views. So that means they have made a lot less than that. So let's divide it by 1,000. They made about $400 in ad revenue. Okay, I'm wrong. But these might actually have higher sort of ad rates than like an average YouTube video. You never know if they've got a deal or something like that. So they might have 3 or 4 times as much as that, which is it is what it is at that level. But this one already has 1.1 million views. The first episode. The second one has 670,000 views. The newer ones don't have as much, as you can tell, but it looks like people are going back to the first one and watching those every single time. And that's a huge amount of views. This is actually a pretty big deal of people checking out Star Trek. So while it may not be making as much money as I thought it was going to be making just as I checked it out, this level of views is actually a pretty big brand recognition kind of thing. And while it's silly and while it may not be Star Trek that Star Trek fans and the like want, they might be actually using this as a pretty good advertising tool to get things out there when it does have this many views. We'll see if it continues. We'll see how many it goes through and before it actually stops. I'm not sure what the budget of these are. I imagine it's pretty quick to computer make these and the like. It's got to probably cost for a 4-minute video a few $1,000s per episode at the very least. But that's not a lot for an advertising kind of thing to get the brand going and the like if you take a look at it. So right now there's 4 episodes. I don't even know how many there are planned, but they repeat a lot of the same footage in them, I've noticed, when they go into the things. So each episode only has maybe half of it being new footage versus reused footage from the prior episodes, which makes the newer ones cheaper to make on that as well. But they have enough views to where it may actually be going somewhere. We'll see if these new episodes can continue and keep up. As like I said, the newer ones are now at 89,000 views, but this one is at 87,000 views. So it looks like people checked out this recent one a week ago as much as they did 2 weeks ago. So that may be where these lay. When they look into things, Blaze and the Star Trek Scouts, Space and Asteroid. This looks like just a compilation of them. It looks like maybe. Interesting on this, as they seem to tie this into other things on Blaze and the Monster Machines. All right, what do you think about this? Leave a comment down below. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.